Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to once again welcome you to the grand finale of the 7th edition of TCS iON Intelligent, an innovative national contest to unearth the gems of tomorrow. We are gathered here for the finale of the communication skills category, junior level competition, brought to you by TCS iON in partnership with STEP from the Hindu group. Let me begin by introducing our most esteemed panel of jury for the day. Miss Sumitra Srinivasan is a seasoned educator with over 15 years of teaching experience in schools across Secunderabad, Noida, and Chennai. She has also spent 14 years as a trainer, examiner, and presenter, working with organizations like Padma Seshadri Senior Secondary School, HCL Technologies, Cognizant, Cambridge Assessment English, and STEP from the Hindu group. With a master's degree in English and a B.Ed in English and Special English, she has been actively involved in projects, training and assessing students and professionals alike. Miss Shailaja Ramesh is a senior content manager at STEP. An avid reader, her passion for English led her on a path which took her all the way after graduating with a master's degree from the Etiraj College for Women, Chennai, to the National University of Singapore, where she pursued a doctoral degree in English literature. Her stint in Singapore also opened up the world of education and pedagogy for her. Having worked at Cambridge Assessment English, she brings a rich insight into the needs of English learners in India. Before we move any further, may I request Ms. Soumya V, Head of Contests, powered by TCS iON, to set the ball rolling.
A very happy new year to everyone. I'm thrilled to welcome you all to the national grand finale of the 7th edition of TCS iON Intelligent. Today, we have come together to celebrate and cheer for the talented finalists of this prestigious contest. In just a few moments, we will witness an exciting finale where these brilliant minds will showcase their skills and compete for the coveted title. Congratulations to all the finalists for making it this far. Your journey itself is a testament to your hard work and determination. The topic, contest rounds, and the evaluation criteria have been meticulously crafted by a panel of experts, ensuring a unique and enriching experience every year. Our vision is to empower every student by enabling them to hone their skills and realize their full potential. At TCS iON, we take immense pride in the fact that the contest continues to remain India's largest national level contest focused on the 21st century skills. We deeply appreciate the unwavering support of the school leaders and educators who have made this journey possible. To all the finalists, I wish you the very best. Remember, regardless of the outcome today, you have already proven yourselves as true intelligence. Each one of you shines brightly, and that's what we celebrate. And now, let the finale begin. Thank you.
And now, for our most important guests, our finalists. They have successfully made it to the grand finale after proving their mettle in 3 challenging rounds. Please put your hands together to wish them luck for the grand finale. Welcome, Aditi R.V. Gowda from National Hillview Public School, R.R. Nagar, Bengaluru. Bhuvna Kumar Gopal from St. Thomas Residential School, Tiruvananthapuram. Sibani Jain from Lotus Valley International School, Gurgaon. And Ira Kalai, Padma Seshadri Balabhavan Senior Secondary School, T. Nagar, Chennai. Welcome, finalists. It's finally time to begin. Get ready for part 1, vlog. Our participants were asked to create an innovative 1-minute introductory video, which they sent in earlier. Let's have a look at our first candidate's vlog. First up is Aditi R.V. Gowda from National Hillview Public School, R.R. Nagar, Bengaluru.
Hello everyone, my name is Aditi R.V. Gowda. I am studying in class 5 at National Hillview Public School, Bangalore, Karnataka. I enjoy singing and have recently started playing piano. I am a very creative girl. I write short poems and I also make paper crafts. I am really short, But that doesn't change anything because I do skipping every day to grow taller like the others. I absolutely adore animals, especially cats and dogs. Everyone finds me pretty helpful. My teachers and my friends look up to me. I love nature as well. Thank you for listening to my introduction.
Thank you, Aditi, for your wonderful video. Bhuvna Kumar Gopal is next from St. Thomas Residential School, Thiruvananthapuram.
Hi everyone, I am Bhuvna Kumar Gopal from God's own country, Kerala. My love for travel has helped me realize that a smile and a friendly hello can unite us universally, and we can make friends no matter how different you may look or speak. I dream of a world of equal opportunities for all. I believe that listening to the other person's point of view is an important part of communication, and it is the first step towards conflict resolution, be it between friends or nations. I am a karate brown belt and love to read books, listen to music, or break into spontaneous dance in my free time. I dream of being a vet in the future and firmly believe that this planet belongs to all living things, big or small. Thank you.
That was a wonderful introduction, Bhuvna. Next is Sibani Jain from Lotus Valley International School, Gurgaon.
Hello everyone, I'm Sibani Jain and I'm excited to be here today. I study in 6th grade in Lotus Valley International School. I believe in dreaming big and never giving up. In my free time, I enjoy solving puzzles, playing tennis and diving into books, especially mystery and suspense ones. I love to showcase my talents in front of an audience. Last year, during my summer vacations, my friends and I performed a skit in front of a whole society during a cultural event. In the end, I earned valuable experience in communication and storytelling. My ambition is to invent technologies that can help strike a balance between nature and modernization. Thank you and good luck to every participant.
Thank you for your wonderful introduction video, Sibani. Next up is Ira Kalai from Padma Seshadri Bala Bhavan Senior Secondary School, T Nagar, Chennai.
Good evening, everyone. Since I believe that authenticity is the best form of communication, I would like to introduce myself through a poem, which is something I really enjoy writing. I study in class 6, the school of PS Baby. I live in Chennai with my family. Reading is my favorite thing to do. I like keyboard, chess, and singing too. In the future, an engineer I wish to be. I like pasta, noodles, and paneer. Cricket's my favorite game. Ira Kalai is my name. Now I would like to share a sloka from the Bhagavad Gita about communication. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swabhyaya vyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. This shloka means that the austerity of speech is in using words that are truthful, unoffending, and beneficial to the listener. On that note, I would like to conclude wishing all my fellow contestants the very best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you for that brilliant video, Ira. I must say, all the introductions were quite innovative. Wonderfully done, participants. Let's move on to part 2, group discussion. You will have 10 minutes for this round. Before we reveal the topic, I would like to talk to you about something that is at the core of this round's values this year. The group discussion round's topics are aligned to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs laid out by the UN in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. These goals are an urgent call for action by all countries across the world. The topic for the group discussion will be revealed now, and here it is. This topic is aligned with Goal 4 of the SDGs, which is quality education. Technology is making communication less personal.
Participants, make sure that this is a group discussion round. So this way you won't be taking turns. if one of you says something, the other one can jump in and debate these points. So feel free to unmute yourselves and have your discussions. Okay, so please remember, you will also be marked for how well you're able to debate points brought forth by your peers. Okay, so I'm going to start. Your time starts now. You can get started.
That, but honestly, yes, I totally agree, but it depends person to person. Maybe some people don't have the time to do that, and maybe some do.
And also, older generations may feel alienated as they don't know how to use technology, and people who do not have mobile phones or laptops feel deprived of something.
That's a valid point, Aditi. But about what you said, Sibani, about some people not having time to do it, such issues exist even with communication without technology. Whether it's technology or face-to-face communication, time is an issue which is there in both.
Yes, I agree.
And also, children are spending a lot of time on the mobile phones. They play games, they watch YouTube videos, and they waste their time. They could be using that time to study or read a book, but now they don't do that anymore.
But in YouTube, you can also find lectures which help you to study, and you can also set screen limits on playing games and watching YouTube or wherever it is. And there are also parental controls in YouTube which control what content your child is watching.
Yes, I agree, but children get distracted very easily. They could see some other video or something else distracting and just click on that instead of watching educational videos, which they should be watching.
But can't content restrictions avoid those other videos from popping up?
Here I agree with what Bhuvana says. And I would like to add on that there are a few issues with technology making communication less personal, because on social media everyone knows what you're talking about and everyone can share in your chat, and issues like that exist for making communication less personal. But I believe that overall technology does not really make communication that much less personal.
Yes, but also face to face communication allows people to bond through physical cues like eye contact, handshake, hugs. Technology based communications remove these human connections, making interactions feel robotic and distant.
But for people who cannot go to the other person and communicate like that, I feel that technology is a great thing for people like them, and it is not making them less personal. Like Ira said earlier, uh, technology is not making communication less personal technically, because it can also be used to schedule face-to-face interaction.
I agree with what you said, Sibani, and I would like to add on to what Bhuvana said by saying that um, even though you said that, Sibani, you said that technology is making face to face communication seem robotic. But it's a great tool in times like COVID-19 when we cannot actually go and meet face to face. In those times, it helps us to stay in touch and still communicate.
Yes, I agree with you on this point that people, if you're living on a separate part of the world or your relative's house is too far, technology will help. But in cases like where you can meet them and you have the time, and but you're simply not doing it, I believe that you should go ahead and make face to face relationships and talk to people face to face.
Absolutely. When it is possible, it's always preferable to meet face to face. But when it's not actually possible, like during COVID-19, or if you're too far away from each other, technology does make communication more possible.
Yes, I agree.
I also agree.
Your time is up, candidates. Thank you.
Very insightful comments from our young participants here. After that thought provoking session, we move on to part 3. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Each participant will be shown three unconnected pictures. Using these, you have to create a story. You will have 1 minute to think and up to 3 minutes to tell the story. Any questions?
Before we continue, a question that we get often is, do you need to narrate the story in the order of the pictures? No. You can use any combination of the three pictures to narrate your story. All right.
Wonderful. Let's begin. First, we have Aditi R.V. Gowda. Here are your pictures.
These are the three pictures, Aditi. Your 1 minute think time starts now. You can make notes if you want. Your 1 minute is up, Aditi. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your 3 minutes starts now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your 3 minutes starts now.
There were three friends, Lily, Lola, and Ron. They were in an adventurous mood. They decided to go on an adventure, watch the sunset, and return home. They played tag for a while. It became late. They decided to sit by the ocean and look at the beautiful sunset. After watching the sunset, the trio decided to go on an adventure. Suddenly, Lola spotted a little cave. The, uh, Ron was a little scared and didn't want to go at first, but then he built up the courage and went with all of them. They discovered a baby kitten which was stuck. They rescued it and let it free. They gave it some food and took care of it for a few days and let it free into the wild. Then returned to their houses. They returned to their houses by the city lights, watched the fireworks, and returned home. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. That was brilliant. Next up is Bhuvana Kumar Gopal. Here are your pictures, Bhuvana.
Okay. Bhuvana, your thinking time starts now. Okay, Bhuvana, are you ready? Okay, your 3 minutes starts now.
A long time back, there was a young girl named Eva. She was an energetic, bubbly girl full of energy. She used to love jumping around and playing around with her friends. One
Bhuvana, can
day,
you
she
speak
went
louder?
One day, she was in her car and she went through a bridge. At that moment, she asked her parents what a bridge was and how it was built. She grew to fascinate about architecture. She used to love whenever architecture was the topic. She soon started to love thinking and drawing of bridges and buildings. One day, her parents took her on a vacation to Switzerland. There, she went on a hot air balloon and she also went to the Alps and did some hiking. But she sustained an injury and broke her leg. After soon, she recovered. Soon she grew up to become an architect. On and her specialty was building bridges. She used to love building bridges and buildings. She soon became one of the best architects in the world. She loved whenever the topic was talked about. She builded a lot of bridges. Thank you.
That was wonderful, Bhuvna. Thank you so much. Now we have Sibani Jain. Here are your pictures.
Sibani, your thinking time starts now. Sibani, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, your 3 minutes start now.
In a quiet countryside, Maya loved her farm nestled by the woods. Every morning, the geese would take to the skies, and their flight was a signal that the day had begun. In the morning, Maya could often hear the chickens clucking. She watched the geese from her pen as the sun peeked through the trees. One such morning, as she herded her sheep to graze, she noticed a bright red flash zooming down the road near her farm. Curious, she sprinted to the fence and caught a glimpse of a cyclist, his sleek bike glinting in the sunlight. The man slowed down, waved cheerfully, and shouted, "Beautiful day for a ride, isn't it?" Maya grinned, her adventurous spirit sparked. "It sure is," she called back. Later that day, she decided she wanted to try something new. She dusted her old bicycle, which hasn't been used in years, and began practicing on the winding paths across the farm. The next morning, Maya joined the cyclist on his route, her determination shining bright, and her eyes, too. The geese flew above, and the sheep bleated happily. Little by little, Maya became faster and stronger. Soon, the cyclist, whose name was Arjun, suggested that they join a race together. On the big day, Maya's geese flew in a formation overhead, as though leading her to her way to victory. Though Maya didn't win the race, she found something greater, a love for adventure. She loved cycling thereon and would cycle each morning with Arjun. Thank you.
Thank you, Sibani. That was a brilliant story. Next, we have Ira Kalai. Here are your pictures, Ira.
Okay. Ira, your thinking time starts now. Ira, your time stops now. Your thinking time. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your 3 minutes start now.
Yes, ma'am. Once, a 10-year-old girl named Susan lived luxuriously in a huge house filled with everything she could ever want. It was she lived in a very luxurious style of life, and she should have been happy. But one day, lounging on a sofa next to her indoor swimming pool, she yearned for something more. Although her life was luxurious, it did not have any adventure in it. And wanting some adventure, Susan decided to venture outside and look for something more interesting she could do. Putting on her coat and walking outside, after a distance, she came upon a large old building. It looked appealing to her, and she stepped inside. There was something magical about the area around the building, and that's why she walked near it. As soon as she stepped near it, though, she put her hand on the door, and the moment she touched it, she was transported outside to a large valley filled with grass and trees. Susan was excited. She had finally got what she wanted, an adventure. Deciding to waste no time and begin immediately, she began walking through the field and ended up at a forest. Even more excited now, she walked through the forest, looking at the trees and birds and animals all around her. She had a great time lounging through the forest, and even dis- and she even saw a tiger from a distance. Although wisely, she did not go close to it. As the day wore on, she saw the sun slowly setting and began to worry about how she could get back. This world felt magical to her, and she greatly enjoyed her time. But she realized that her parents must be worrying and she couldn't remain here forever. However, there was one problem with this idea. She had no idea how to get back. She decided to walk a little more and wait until she got an idea or found something that could help her. Walking a little distance, she came upon another field like the one she'd landed into. Walking into it, she saw a herd of zebras staring at her. Something about the eyes of one of the zebras seemed to her like those of one of the statues at the building she had first seen. She didn't know why, but encouraged by this, she approached the zebra and climbed onto its back. The zebra immediately began running with her.
Thank you, Ira. Your time's up.
Thank you, Ira. That was a wonderful story. I think that this session jogged all of our imaginative capabilities. Thank you, participants. Are you ready for the final round? Let's begin. Part 4, Block and Tackle. This round will test your debating capabilities even further. Participants will be invited to speak one by one. As they speak, the judges will alternate between the commands of block and tackle. You will need to deliver 4 arguments when the judge says tackle and deliver against arguments when the judge says block. The topic was already shared with you and will be shown on screen as you speak. First, we have Aditi R.V. Gowda from National Hill View Public School, R.R. Nagar, Bengaluru. Your topic was quality education is more important than access to education.
We're going to start with tackle.
Quality education helps the students develop skills like knowledge, values, and skills. It helps them understand the concepts better and apply it in real life. It helps them secure good jobs, solve problems, and make uh, uh, and make better decisions in life. It also creates skilled individuals like doctors, lawyers, engineers, entrepreneurs, etc., which are essential for the growth of our environment. And it makes the world a better place to live in. Um, Zoc. Uh, uh, Access to education is more important. Every citizen deserves the right to education. It is the first step. Without access, they can't even begin their learning journey. Millions of students are deprived of education itself. Um, Even if quality education is not
Tackle.
good,
Um, it breaks the cycle of poverty. It teaches the four C's, which are communication, um, creativity, collaboration, um, collaboration and critical thinking. It reduces unemployment and fosters entrepreneurship, which can uplift the entire society of poverty. Quality education helps the poor bridge the gap between the rich and the poor.
Block.
Um, there is compulsory education for every child below the age of 14, and midday meal scheme which the government has made. It ensures that there isn't any child labor and improves the attendance of school for all of the children. It focuses on the rural and underprivileged areas where poverty is severe. It focuses on the basic education rather than the effective education.
Correct.
There's a popular saying that states if a woman learns, it's equivalent to opening a school, which means if a woman is educated, it not only helps her, but it brings up her family and community in a good way. Educated women make better decisions, solve problems, and are economically independent. It teaches them about legal rights, health, which gives them confidence to make better decisions, and it reduces gender inequalities and improves hygienic practices. And leadership roles are very high in different countries, and our country
Block.
should also um, without education, women will never reach the quality education. The women are the most deprived um, uh, section of society in terms of education. Access to education, basic education like reading and writing, and understanding basic concepts like health, hygiene, and financial literacy
Thank
in.
you, Aditi. Thank you. Your time's up. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your arguments, Aditi. Here we have our second candidate, Bhuvana Kumar Gopal from St. Thomas Residential School, Tiruvananthapuram. Your topic was recycling is better than waste reduction.
Bhuvana, we're going to start with block.
Do you know that the world generates more than 2 billion tons of solid waste annually, and only 19% of it is recovered through recycling or composting? Thus, waste reduction is always better than recycling because the remaining 81% of the waste, which often cannot be recycled, still ends up in landfills, incinerators, or in our oceans, thus polluting our land, air, and water. Waste reduction can be easily implemented by individuals if we reduce unwanted consumption and make sustainable choices. Then, household waste, such as plastic waste and e waste, will automatically come down.
Tackle.
Recycling Recycling is better than waste reduction because it actively reuses materials and reduces the need to extract more raw materials from Mother Nature. Recycling reduces the need to manufacture new goods, which are usually very energy intensive. By cutting down on energy consumption, recycling helps to also reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Recycling is also easier to implement as waste reduction requires fundamental change in mindset, which is not very easy to achieve. Indians by nature are more used to recycling. For example, an old bedsheet will be recycled to a cushion cover and later to a floor mop before being discarded. Old newspapers get recycled to paper bags and plastic bottles get transformed into flower pots.
Block.
But waste Consider the case of a plastic shampoo bottle. It is extremely difficult to recycle as the label in the bottle, the cap, and the body are all made of different kinds of plastics, which require to be separated and then transported to recycling units to be recycled back into a useful product. Imagine the amount of resources that needs to be spent for this. Very often, plastic recycling is not possible as the whole process is not cost effective. Plastic waste that cannot be recycled end up as microplastic in water bodies, causing harm to marine animals and in turn to humans through biomagnification. Thus, it is the best to reduce mindless consumption and resulting waste rather than generating a lot of waste and trying to recycle it. Another big problem of recycling, especially in a country like India, is that it is mostly handled by the unorganized sector and often children
Tackle.
who are even in our railway stations. We may not get safe drinking water even if we carry a glass bottle, and hence we are forced to buy water in plastic bottles, which then need to be recycled properly. Recycling is also a better choice for developing countries like India, as it can provide immediate economic benefits by creating jobs in the informal sector and generating income from selling recycled materials. In countries with limited waste management infrastructure and high poverty rates, recycling can be a valuable way for waste management. In such places, waste reduction often requires significant changes in consumption patterns and may be more challenging to implement in these contexts.
Thank you,
Creating,
Bhuvana. Thank
thank
you,
you.
Yatanzil.
Thank you, Bhuvna, for your wonderful arguments. Next up is Sibani Jain from Lotus Valley International School, Gurgaon. Sibani, your topic was wildlife conservation is more important than infrastructure development.
Okay, Sibani, you can start with tackle.
Forests and wildlife help regulate the climate by absorbing pollution and maintaining natural weather patterns. Protecting wildlife can also boost the tourism of a place due to its fresh air and greenery. Also, wildlife conservation ensures the survival of many species of flora as well as fauna. Doing this maintains ecosystem balance, which is also essential for human survival. Many plants and animals hold medicinal properties. They have contributed to drug and medicine discoveries, and they will continue to do so in the future. Conserving ecosystem ensures clean water sources and sustainable food supplies for both humans and animals.
Block.
Development projects can uplift rural and underdeveloped areas by creating employment opportunities and connectivity. Also, the people in rural areas wouldn't have to migrate for jobs and basic facilities like hospitals.
Tackle.
Humans have a moral obligation to protect animals and their habitats, as we are the ones that are exploiting and destroying them. Infrastructure is temporary. Without a healthy environment, human life won't be sustained in the long run. Wildlife conservation is extremely important as it gives our future generations to learn about some new species which they probably won't see in the future as because we are considering infrastructure to be more superior to wildlife conservation
Block.
currently. Infrastructural development is the key to economic growth as they play a pivotal role in providing jobs and boosting GDP. Stringent wildlife conservation laws can delay infrastructural projects and make them more expensive. Infrastructures such as dams, flood barriers, and evacuation routes can protect human lives during natural disasters or emergencies. Developing countries like India and countries in Africa must prioritize infrastructure to remain competitive on the global stage and to accumulate the growing population to create infrastructure. Countries like Europe and US are already developed, so they can have and abide by stringent wildlife conservation laws. Whereas, as I mentioned, countries that are still developing, like India and countries in Africa, need to have less strict laws for wildlife conservation so that they can create infrastructure, grow their economy, and accumulate the growing population. Thank you.
Thank you, Sibani. Your time's up.
Thank you so much for all your arguments, Sivani. That was brilliant. Our final candidate for the junior round, Ira Kalai from Padma Seshadri Balabhavan Senior Secondary School, T Nagar, Chennai. Ira, your topic was Equality Matters More Than Economic Growth.
Ira, we're going to start with block.
Yes, ma'am. Economical growth is objective and far easier to measure compared to equality. To be able to manage anything effectively, we must first be able to measure it. Most inventions were done with the objective of economical growth. For instance, Ford, an automobile manufacturer, developed cars for economical growth purposes. India's own example of Manmohan Singh's concept of liberalization helped in improving status of the people at the bottom of the pyramid. Although it increased inequalities, it also boosted the status of many of these people who then came out of poverty. Although Nordic countries like Denmark have high equality, this happened only after they became economically prosperous, which means that growth first, equality later. Ethiopia is an example of a country where income equality is high, but the income itself is low. Such equality does not benefit the country as such.
Tackle.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to begin tackle with a quote. A nation will not be economically or morally successful unless and when so few have so much and so many have so little. To substantiate this, in 2023, top 1% of India's population had 40% of the country's wealth. This indicates that the bottom of the pyramid has not yet fully benefited, and this number and inequality has only risen in the past 5 decades. Income equality will also ensure that more people have access.
Ira, your mic, I think there's some issue with your mic. Can you get closer to your mic? Yeah, okay.
Income equality will also ensure that people have access to health, education, and other such resources. This will empower them and it will also guarantee economic growth, which means that equality can also lead to Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm done with my points for block.
Okay. Okay, can you want to continue with your tackle?
Yes, ma'am. Economic equality is also one of the major reasons for collapse of government in countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and China. Incidentally, countries with the highest income equality, like Nordic countries Germany, Australia, etc., score high on SDGs and other happiness parameters.
Thank you,
Also,
Ira. Thank you.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ira, for your wonderful arguments. That was quite spectacular. Please put your hands together for our wonderful participants. Congratulations to all our finalists.
Before we go to to addressing the participants, we do have a little surprise in store for all of you. We have a few questions for all of you participants. Could you all, I'm just going to call out your names and we've got a couple of questions for you. I request all of you to answer those questions. Yeah? So, Aditi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi Aditi. Aditi, before we get to this surprise round, would you like to introduce yourself and the name of your school, please?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Aditi Arvi Gowda. I am from National Hillview Public School. I study in class 5, section C. My hobbies are singing and playing the piano.
Great. Thank you, Aditi. So tell us, why did you enter this competition?
Ma'am, I wanted to see what TCS was about. I wanted to see, I'm good at communication and I wanted to see what would happen. I wanted to see how, I would just want to have the experience of being in TCS, being a part of it.
So what do you hope and wish to achieve from participating in this competition? Is there
Ma'am, I hope I did well and I hope I win the prize.
okay? What was your biggest takeaway from this experience? What will you remember most about this, your entire competition experience?
Ma'am, the picture speaks 1,000 words was my favorite part, and ma'am, I'll remember that.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Bhuvana. Hi, Bhuvana.
Yes, ma'am.
We've got some questions for you now. What was the most fun part of this competition for you?
For me, it was the group discussion because I heard everyone's.
Bhuvana, can you come a little forward,
For me,
please?
it was the group discussion because I heard everyone's perspective and it was really fun.
Okay, great. And through the competition, from round 1, 2, 3, and now the grand finale, did you face any challenges? Did you have any, a major roadblock or anything?
No, ma'am.
No, everything went well and you're happy.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
Great. Thank you so much, Bhuvana.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
Bhuvana, can you also introduce yourself and your school and your hobbies for us, please?
Okay, ma'am. My name is Bhavana Kumar Gopal from St. Thomas Residential School. My hobbies are singing, dancing. I'm also a karate brown belt. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Bhuvana. Sibani? Hi, Sibani. Can you introduce yourself, your school, and your hobbies for us, please?
Hello everyone, I'm Sibani Jain. I study in 6th grade in Lotus Valley International School. In my free time, I like reading books, playing tennis, and sometimes I try to cook, but my kitchen somehow disagrees every single time.
Okay, great. Sibani, who or what inspired you to take part in this competition?
Last year, I participated in this competition and I had a really enriching experience. So when the competition circular came out, I looked at previous year videos when I was not there, and I realized that it is so important to have these 21st century skills. And it's everything. If you have these, you can crack any interview, and it gives you the experience to do. It's happening at a really early age for me. So I'm really thankful and I'm inspired by the people who did this competition before me.
Great. And Sibani, if you could do one thing differently in this competition, through across your rounds, is there anything that you would do differently?
Honestly, I think I won't change anything. I won't go back and change anything. But my group discussion, I should have not stayed neutral in the end. I should have still, stuck to the part that I had vouched for at first.
Thank you, Sibani. And Ira?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Ira. Can you introduce yourself, your school, and your hobbies for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Ira Kale, a proud student of Class 6 in PSPB Senior Secondary School, T Nagar, Chennai. My hobbies include reading and writing, singing, keyboard, and chess.
Nice. So, Ira, what was your favorite memory from this competition? It can be anything from your round 1, 2, 3, or this.
I think my favorite part of the competition was the block and tackle round because I am very fond of debating. But the block and tackle round offered not only debating from one perspective, but allowed you to see both perspectives of a debate and weigh different options.
Great. And how did you prepare for this event? Was there anything special you did?
Honestly, uh, there was a little research involved. Like for my block and tackle topic, I had to research. But since and for the introduction in the beginning, there was some preparation to be done. But most of the aspects of the grand finale were impromptu. But that does not mean there was no preparation. As I said, I love to read books a lot, and I think that greatly helped me. And although it wasn't consciously done as a preparation, I think that also can include as a preparation.
Got it. I think, thank you so much, Ira. I think it's
Thank
time for us to address, we just want to share a couple of things with you. I think we'll start with Sumitra ma'am. Hi, I'm Sumitra. Thank you so much, Shivani, Ira, Bhuvana, and Aditi. It was nice, very nice to hear your perspective on different things. We really enjoyed all the 4 sections. Thank you so much for making it so lively and giving out your points. Thank you. So you all did a wonderful job, and like Ira rightly pointed out, even though the rounds are impromptu, I'm sure a lot of work, you did a lot of research to prep for the competition, and all of you, and that showed, your prep work showed, right? A couple of pointers that I did want to talk to you all, let you all know is a big thing as you know, participate in more such competitions and debates and things, you have things like public speaking. And for instance, in the group discussion, how do you get your point across? You're going to have a panel of people who are thinking about their own points, but you also need to think not only what they're thinking, but how do I respond to what they are putting across, right? So things like how to engage with these things, how do you respond appropriately? How do I ensure that my audience is listening to me, right? For instance, in your third round, where the pictures round, one thing I noticed that was all of you were focused on your stories, which is what it should be like. But it always helps to make sure that your audience is listening. You can try things like you can try to include the audience. You can ask them for uh, a suggestion, or do you know what time of the day it was, or can you guess what this was? So there will be something that the audience will also need to listen to respond to you. So this way you'll have an engaged audience, and what you say will make an impact, right? So these are some pointers that you can keep in mind for your other activities. And all the best to all of you. You all did a wonderful job today. Thank you all. Over to our host.
That was quite spectacular. Please put your hands together for our wonderful participants. Congratulations to all our finalists. Thus, we come to the end of the finale of Communication Skills category, Junior Level Competition, brought to you by TCS iON in partnership with STEP from the Hindu Group. We look forward to seeing all of you again for the award ceremony, and we wish you all the very best. Thank you, everyone.